Yeah, this ain't gonna happen. I apologize, everybody.
Benny Blanco.
May love to give and give to you, but I do not. I'm done.
Thank you, dear. You're such a good boy.
I'm done with the negativity. Like, I'm focusing on Minnie.
I don't care. I've decided that I'm done. I am choosing not to be a part of this anymore.
Oh, Bieber. Everybody talks about Justin Bieber like he had the dream life. But let's be honest, what type of dream turns your marriage into a battlefield, your ex into a ghost fans won't let go, and your wife into a villain of a love story she didn't even write? That's not a dream. That's fame with a curse attached to it. This is Catfish Characters, where we look at the image people bought into and compare with what's really happening underneath. Let's get into the messy part right away. Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez were not just a
celebrity couple.
They were a whole era. People grew up with them. People shipped them together. People treated Jelena like it was a government program. Their on and off relationship became a pop culture storyline for years. And even after Justin married Hailey, people kept comparing everything back to Selena. People have covered how Selena and Hailey have been pitted against each other for years, even while both women have tried to shut down the feud speculations.
Did Justin ever ask his ex to help put an end to the harassment her fans put you through?
I do not stand for women tearing women down. Please, for me, know that that's not my heart.
She doesn't owe me anything. I respect her a lot. If that was something that she felt was necessary, then that would be amazing.
I don't like seeing people be disrespectful or rude to other people, so please don't do that.
There's a very long history there, and it's not my relationship. It has nothing to do with me, so I respect that a lot.
So when Justin ended up marrying Hailey Bieber, fans did not just see a new marriage that he had. A lot of them saw it like, wait a minute, what about Selena? And that's where the problem started, because Justin's marriage didn't just get to be a marriage, like everybody else's. It got compared to relationships that were already over. Now, Hailey even addressed the situation on Call Her Daddy, including the public narrative about whether or not she and Justin were involved while Selena was still in the picture.
Your husband was in a very public relationship. They were kids. People were obsessed with the idea of them. People were confused on the timeline you're talking about of like, is she a homewrecker? So I guess my question is, Hailey, were you ever with Justin romantically at the same time as her?
No. Not one time. When him and I started hanging out, okay, let's just put it this way. When him and I ever started, hooking up or, anything of that sort, he was not ever in a relationship. Ever. At any point. I would never, it's not my character to mess with someone's relationship. I would just never do that. I was raised better than that. I'm not interested in doing that, and I never was. I think that there are situations where you can still kind of have back and forth with someone, but even that was not the situation. I can say period point blank, I was never with him when he was in a relationship with anybody. That's the end of it. And I had been involved with him since I was 18. The timeline also that I think sometimes is in question of us getting together and getting engaged and him having been spending time with his ex before that. This is so crazy. I've literally never talked about this ever. I understand, again, how it looks from the outside, and there's a lot of perception there, but that was a situation where I know for a fact that it was the right thing for them to close that door.
And she talked about how the effect Jelena fans had on her and her mental state. But fans didn't care. They didn't care about what they were doing to a poor woman's mind and the relationship between her and her husband. For years, people online have pushed this idea that Hailey was obsessed with Justin before they got married, right? Like she was like some stalker woman. Old tweets, fan behavior, that type of stuff is normal. Like the Selena comparisons, all of this stuff is normal. I'm not saying that Hailey was a stalker. Some coverage has described how diehard Jelena fans were not happy when Justin started seeing Hailey during the periods where he wasn't with Selena, which helped feed years of comparisons and backlash.
Does anybody just ever feel really bad for Selena Gomez? Can you imagine going through a breakup
so publicly with a guy that you were in love with for like 7 years, and then like 2 months later you just like marry someone.
The public says Justin got the girl and moved on, right? But the reality is the internet never let him move on.
Leave me alone, please. Enough time has gone by where it's valid to leave me alone. I beg of you, truly.
This is where the Bieber fantasy starts falling apart, because from the outside people saw, oh, he gets any girl he wants, but the reality was way darker than that. Justin's love life became entertainment for everybody. Selena couldn't escape the comparisons. Hailey couldn't escape like the villain role everybody put her in. Justin couldn't escape all the questions everybody tried to sneak into every one of his interviews, like,
do you still love Selena? Is there any flair still there? Do you still care for her? If you saw her hurting somewhere, would you pick her up and carry her to
you know, a song drops and it's like, oh, that's about Selena. It has to be about Selena. You know, he looks sad and, oh, he misses Selena. Or he posts something about Hailey, his wife. He's trying too hard. He doesn't ever post about Hailey. Something must be wrong. That's not romance. That's surveillance. That's Big Brother. That's the fans turning against you. The image everybody wants him to be is so much different from the reality that's actually there. Everybody thinks they own this guy's heart and they should be able to decide which direction he goes in, whether it be love, music, or anything else. You know, and that's like it's almost like a public custody battle over a grown man's feelings. Now let's zoom out for a minute. When Bieber first blew up, he looked like the cheat code for everything, right? A kid from YouTube becomes a global superstar. Girls screaming, hit songs, money, fame. You know, everything looked like the dream. Every guy wanted to be Bieber at that point. But here's what nobody tells you, right? The dream has no privacy. You know, you don't get to experience your normal teenage years. No room to grow quietly, and no way to make a mistake without the whole world saving like screenshots or taking pictures of those embarrassing moments. Most awkward years in anyone's family is in like their family photos, right? But Bieber's, they're in TMZ, and that matters because Bieber didn't just become famous. He became like a brand before he could even become a full adult. And then
comes the health issues.
In 2022, Justin revealed that he had Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, which caused partial facial paralysis after a virus attacked his nervous system, his face, and his ear, right? He showed fans that one side of his face was not even moving normally, like it was totally weird. And then later after that, the remainder of his Justice World Tour was canceled after earlier postponements connected to his health issues. That changes the conversation, guys, because before that, some people were kind of saying like, oh, he just didn't want to do the show. He was lazy, you know, maybe he wasn't feeling the crowd or whatever the case may be. But when your body stops listening to you and forces you to stop, that's not laziness, guys. That's a warning. And you should ask iShowSpeed all about that because he would know. That's when it stops becoming the dream life, right? And it starts to look different for everybody because that kind of dream puts so much pressure on you that even your body starts to tap out. I believe that this guy really, really loves his fans and he really wants to perform for them, and he'll ignore his own health to do it. Then in 2023, Bieber sold rights connected to his music catalog to Hypnosis Songs Capital in a deal reportedly about $200 million, including publishing and artist royalties and recordings and all of that, you know, music stuff. Now, selling your catalog does not automatically mean something, you know, bad, like something's wrong, I'm in debt and all of that stuff. No. Plenty of artists do that. It can be a smart business move a lot of the times. And, you know, a lot of times it is a smart business move, especially if you're kind of like winding down on your music career, right? But with Bieber, it felt a little bit symbolic, you know what I mean? It was a little bit different for him because this was not just some 70-year-old artist cashing out after a lifetime of music. This was Justin Bieber selling a major piece of the music that defined his childhood and his young adulthood. That kind of makes you wonder, was this just business for him? Like, or was this like also him trying to like, you know, separate himself from the machine that built him? There was also reports and documentaries claiming financial strain may have a part in the catalog sale happening, but Bieber's representatives have pushed back on that and saying that a lot of those claims are unfounded. So I'm not gonna, you know, sit here and say that, you know, he was broke or anything like that. You know, the stronger point in this whole thing would be that it's just a rumor. You know, it's just shocking to people because he sold something that, you know, was a part of his legacy so soon. But to me, you know, that sale felt less like, hey, I'm rich now, I'm super rich now, to like, I don't even want to have anything to do with like the house I grew up in. I don't want to have anything to do with the traumatic childhood that I had coming up in this business. I just want to get rid of all of it. Even when Bieber tries to move forward, people don't listen. It's almost like they don't want to let him, you know. His 2025 album Swag was reviewed as his first release in 4 years, with Rolling Stones calling it some of the most creative and wide-ranging music of his life. But fans were not just asking, is the music good? They were asking, is he okay? Like, you know, and that's the weird part of Bieber's fans. They look past what he's actually presenting to them. They don't want to, if Bieber comes outside and then is holding something in his hand and says, hey, look at this, they're going to look past him into his window, into his kitchen, and see what he was cooking. That's the type of fandom that this guy has, and it must be so exhausting to have fans that just won't allow you to give them something and then they accept it. Every facial expression becomes like a theory about what's going on with him and Hailey, or maybe him and Selena, or him and some other mystery woman maybe. It's exhausting for me to even talk about. It has to be exhausting for this guy to actually live that type of life. He gets married, people bring up Selena, he posts Hailey, and people compare it to Selena for some reason. He drops music, people search for hidden Selena meanings. Hey, you know, Hailey does anything, people turn it into a conspiracy thread. I kind of feel like he doesn't want to be Justin Bieber anymore. If I'm going too far, let me know. But I feel like he's gotten to the point, and a lot of artists have gotten to this point where they say, F it, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be famous anymore. I have enough money. I just want to disappear, right? Then they got this itch that they have to come back and perform or be the person that they've been, for all of these years. He's dealing with an audience that refuses to let his past stay in the past, and they disguise that as love, but that's not love, guys. That's control dressed up as a fandom. You guys are doing this man a huge disservice by being this obsessed with every decision that he makes. It's hurting him, and it's making him want to quit this life that he said he loved when he first started. A kid who grew up under, tremendous pressure, a man whose marriage became public property, and a life that looked perfect from the outside while costing him peace on the inside. Justin Bieber wasn't just, living the dream. He was surviving it. He was surviving you. And that's the rant. I want to thank you guys for coming and watching the video all the way through. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you want to see more. I have more videos somewhere popping up here on the left or the right. Go see that video. It's awesome. And I will see you guys again in the next video. And remember, if you see Justin Bieber and he's walking past you in some form or fashion and his face isn't working, or he doesn't have a smile on his face, before you rush this guy, remember, he's human. Why don't you just go home and pay your rent?